Hello, Yemi.
Good morning.
A very good morning to you. So, what is the situation right now? Yesterday, you spoke with us from Abuja. Would like to know, are you still in Abuja?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what's the situation there, where you are now?
We just released a statement that you just read out on air.
Absolutely.
And before
It makes
forget, I just really want to correct Kadria real quickly. The card reader does not collate results. All the card reader does, if it was functioning properly, was to count the number of people who would accredit. Therefore, when people actually then vote, you will know that the number of votes cast cannot be more than the number of accredited voters.
Well, the issue we're discussing at the moment is the... Hello, Yemi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, the issue we were discussing here is, part of the report you sent to us concerning this call to protect the sanctity of our votes, and part of it did read the Situation Room receiving disturbing reports of politicians using various arms of the national security apparatus to fiddle with the collation process and pass off results that undermine the credibility of the elections and sacrifice millions of Nigerians from all walks of life. Well, we'd like to have your views and probably a confirmation of this and maybe a little bit of evidence too.
For example, I think it was earlier this evening on TV stations and the Punch reporting that agents of security agencies prevented accredited journalists in Imo from entering the collation center. As you know, Rivers has been a hot point, and Imo has been a hot point. In Bauchi, a state of a curfew was declared, which citizens have, in a sense, defied because they're still outside by the INEC office, saying that they must make sure that their votes are counted and counted properly. So with those those examples, just raising concerns around using the state apparatus from preventing citizens from being able to exercise their rights to vote and vote in a free and transparent manner.
So essentially, I mean, you're saying it is based on these three incidents that...
No, I'm just giving, I can give you a long list, but I'm just giving those as clear examples that you can corroborate because they've also been in the media. And our role as a situation room, as a hub, is, in a sense, you aggregate some of this information you're receiving and just flag concerns that, look, citizens stayed, and as we talked about yesterday, a big part of this election story are the Nigerian citizens who believe in this democratic process, who stand in line for and decide to come to shine regardless of the delays, card reader, that they were going to make sure they voted. Now, if people are now concerned around result sheets not showing up or INEC officials not wanting citizens or security agencies not wanting accredited observers to participate in the collation process, then there must be some concerns around what might be happening and what could be happening. And this is not the first time. I mean, 2011 did have some record of that happening, that INEC investigated later and then stating that some of the percentages of voter turnout were unreasonably high. So those are the kind of things we're trying to flag early and just remind the Nigerians that, look, you voted, but the process is not over until the actual results are announced, and everyone has a role to play to make sure that that is done properly.
Okay, Yemi, please, listening to the language, if something as brazen as security agents or government people or soldiers or what have you are trying to influence the collation process by preventing journalists was happening, surely there's proof to that effect.
And as I said again, there were reports in
if something as open, as brazen as that was happening, that there are these security agents that are trying to influence the outcome of elections at the collation centers, and you are alerting INEC to that fact that, oh, please don't let this happen. Surely there should be, you have proof of this, and it's a very big thing. People are talking, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I say that it's been covered on your stations as well. It's been covered widely in the media. So we're basically collating all the different pieces from different states. and saying, look, these are not one-offs. So it's not that you just have it in one state and it's just one incident that's happened in one place. But if we're getting that this happened in Rivers, this is happening in Bauchi, this happened in Imo, let's pay attention. Let's ensure that the apparatus of the state is not used to prevent a free and fair process.
Now, as far as you know, maybe if we sort of take some of these examples specifically, in Imo State, for example, where you say journalists have been denied entry into the collation centers, what is the latest situation? Are they back in as a result of you highlighting this particular thing, or are they, as far as you know, still excluded?
I mean, this statement that you're reading, as you know, just came out literally about 10 minutes ago. So as of now, I can't say. I would not say that this statement has changed that position.
And in Bauchi, with the state of curfew that has been announced, are people respecting this curfew from the information you're getting, or are they insisting on staying at the collation centers? No, they're not, as far as we know, and there are pictures and reports saying that especially young people in Bauchi have just stayed peacefully by the collation center, prayed during the times for prayer, and just basically holding vigil, probably till tomorrow morning, and we'll see in the morning, later today, I guess. We'll so ideally, what is the situation room hoping is going to happen? What would be the sort of thing that you want from Nigerians? Ultimately, I think the point is that when results are announced, when they start being announced at 12 noon later today, as the chair of INEC has announced, that it would reflect, as you were talking about earlier, pictures that were taken at polling units, results that people recorded. When the total aggregate of it is announced, people can sense that, okay, this reflects how I believe not only my polling unit, but my area, things that I heard, people that I spoke to, it reflects how we voted in our space. And people are not wondering, wait a minute, what happened? This is completely different than even, I mean, there's this constant issue about results being announced on social media. The point is, at a polling unit, it's an INEC official in the sense that announced. So announced results at a polling unit are valid because they're meant to be written down. They're meant to be written down on results sheets, meant to be written down on a form that's pasted on a wall. And it's the same results that's aggregated at the ward level, at the local government level, and then at the state level.
Now, these issues raised by the Situation Room and the alert you are showing or making to INEC, can you actually locate it in specific areas, or is it something that's happening across the board?
Across the board. And just to clarify, it's not just the INEC. I think at the end of the day, because INEC is the one mandated to announce results, a big part of it is the INEC, but a big part of it is also we speak directly to politicians and just reminding them that, look, both at the national level, at the state level, even at some senatorial levels, people signed peace accords, people signed agreements to participate and provide free and fair elections. We have a section that goes to security agents, just reminding them that your mandate is to provide a fair playing field, so don't use your powers in the favor of one party over another. We have a section that goes to citizens, talking clearly about still being vigilant until the process is over. And also the international community as well. They've continued to show support to Nigerian people, and we encourage them to continue to do that. And if necessary, sanctions that they've mentioned in different fora will be placed against any politician that tries to thwart this process. No, so it's not just to INEC, but it's to all stakeholders really that have a role in this process.
Now, Yemi, earlier, Olumide here was talking about the fact that Mr. Lai Mohammed, the spokesman for the opposition APC, said that his party has the results from every single polling unit where they participated in elections. We know how contentious it is likely to be if results are coming from a political party, because people will not see it as being independent. Is there anybody within your coalition or among civil society groups that is actually keeping track of election results as they are coming from the individual polling units?
Well, as you rightly said, the only person who's mandated to release a result officially is INEC. So coming from a political party, you're right, will be viewed quite sort of by biased lens. But different civil society organizations have observers in the field. I don't think, there's no, I'm not say I don't think, I know for a fact there's no organization that has an observer in 119,000 polling units. So there's a spread. Some organizations have up to 10,000, some have 5,000. So there is a spread across the country, but there's no one organization that has an observer at every polling unit that can give you results on the ground as it happens. But different platforms do exist that people are sending in reports from.
But is anyone collating those results? I guess that's really the question. Is there anyone?
There are a number of platforms collating results. There's NigerianElections.org, Sahara Reporters is collating results, Premium Times is collating results. Those are three that come to mind pretty quickly.
Now, I would like to ask, and this is, with a very open mind and frankly too, one will try to read between the lines concerning, the statement, we've just received from the Situation Room, but would like to know, what exactly are you not saying that is actually not reflected in black and white in this document I have here? I mean, I've tried to read between the lines because I see there is an intrinsic message in it. So what is it that you're not saying that we cannot see in this document?
What do you get out of it that you think we're trying to say?
Well, that's the question I'm actually asking. That's the question I'm putting to you.
It goes back to what I was saying, that if something as gargantuan as that was happening, have you sent to INEC with the specific places, to the specific places where these things are said to have happened, where these reports you got are pointing to that you're getting reports that there are security agents or what have you trying to do this and that at the Collation Center? Have you sent to INEC with the times
Again,
and
I would
places?
say this illuminated reports getting are not private reports. The reports that are in the domain. INEC is quite aware of them. So our role is just to really, and because this is an election process, there's so many things happening, there's so many different people analyzing different situations. There's hate speech, there's security agencies, there's shootings and violence, there's result sheets missing, there's people voting on day 2, ballot boxes missing. So there's a lot going on, but we thought this was important because at the stage that we're in now, that election is done, we're collating results. And at the end of the day, you announce results for an election. So we thought it was important to sort of pull all these things together and flash this as a core issue that, look, this is an important thing to look at and ensure that all the stakeholders are aware that we all have a role to play to ensure that the journey we started on Saturday, by the time results are announced Monday, that everybody comes out of it. And as we keep saying, we would have free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections.
But how well can you vouch for the credibility of many of these reports, or at least some of these reports?
For the ones that we have, I mean, which is why I think our statement is also covers a broad range. So some of them we haven't been able to verify, but some we have, and the ones that we have verified are the ones that I've said severally throughout this broadcast. Bauchi, I mean, it's clear, and we've gotten reports, picture confirmation, there was a curfew, but people were insistent that they will be at INEC to make sure that there would nothing happen to their votes. Same thing with River State, that's been publicly documented, it's been publicly documented.
Well then, at this point, Yemi, I'd like to say we have taken note of all the issues you raised here. We'll be taking a look at them as well, but thank you very much for your contribution, and particularly the contributions of the Situation Room.